Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Jira Work Management, the power of Jira for the rest of us. This is a webinar, product demo, and information session brought to you by Avant Systems Group. Today we're going to demonstrate the Jira Work Management product and talk about how many different kinds of teams can benefit from using Jira's core infrastructure in their day-to-day. Let's get started. First off, a quick agenda. We'll do a brief introduction to Avant, who we are, before jumping into a quick product demo of Jira Work Management and some of the templates, views, and features that are unique to those projects. And then we'll just close off by talking about how you can get it in place for teams in your organization. Feel free to ask questions in the Q&A, and we'll address them at the end of today's session. Of course, a video of today's session will be available to everyone on our website at avant.ca. To introduce myself, my name is Adam Rothenberger, Marketing Manager at Avant Systems Group. I've worked in various marketing roles throughout my career, notably in the graphic design, branding, and digital ad spaces. In working with Avant, I've obtained a number of Atlassian accreditations and have come to really appreciate working with the tools like Jira to manage different kinds of work that I do. In my spare time, I enjoy playing guitar, like many of us here at Avant Systems Group. Avant itself is an innovative IT consulting company specializing in Atlassian products. Our team spans coast to coast here in Canada, with employees in 6 different provinces. Our expertise comes from more than 30 years of software development and consulting experience, the last 10 of which have been near exclusively in the Atlassian space. We're passionate about software development tools, processes, and sharing that expertise with our clients to drive their success. As an Atlassian Platinum Solution Partner, our people have extensive experience working with, implementing, and supporting Atlassian products for a broad range of customers across a wide range of industries by way of the services you can see here. If you're working with or interested in working with Atlassian tools in your organization, I would encourage you to reach out to us for partner purchasing advantages and a single point of contact for Atlassian product support. The products we promote, of course, come from Atlassian. We deploy products like Jira, Confluence, and Bitbucket for organizations to provide solutions in several different areas like those you can see here. And finally, a quick note about the Solution Partner Program itself. Now, Atlassian doesn't employ a dedicated support branch of its own, instead training and relying on solution partner organizations like Avant to provide expertise and hands-on keyboard assistance with everything in the Atlassian product ecosystem. There are a number of advantages you can gain from engaging with Avant for product procurement and configurations, including licensing discounts, a single point of contact, like I said, post-purchase support for all your Atlassian products. So if you're using Jira, Confluence, or Bitbucket now, or if you'd like to deploy those in the future, reach out to us and we'll be happy to help. So, Jira Work Management. Let's start the discussion by talking about why Atlassian made this product. And the reason is really that they're listening to their customers. People are recognizing how powerful Jira software is if you're on a development team and how effective Jira Service Management is for service teams. But what if you're not working in a development or support team? People in teams who were using these products in their native states started articulating that they're also using them to help other kinds of teams manage their work. But there are a few barriers to entry in terms of features and terminologies for people who don't work on teams that the Jira software product was designed for. So for example, with Jira software, there are sprints, components, backlogs, things that are very software specific. So it made it difficult to simply use Jira software as it was for broader business purposes. On the flip side, Atlassian realized that Jira's overall architecture could be made to manage these different kinds of work as well, and that they could tailor it to remove, improve, and better streamline the features and terminologies to accommodate other business teams. And thus, Jira Work Management was born, bringing the power of Jira into other business teams in a way that's more approachable, flexible, and intuitive than a product meant for software development or service. So let's jump into Jira Work Management, and we'll show you how it accomplishes this. So if you're setting up Jira software projects, these are the default templates that you'll see. But if we switch to the Jira Work Management product, you'll see that we have a lot more templates to choose from. A lot more. These are pre-built project configurations that come with the product that you can choose from to manage many different kinds of work. And will change the experience that end users will get when working in these kinds of projects, to better suit the nature of that kind of work. So this is really the first step in harnessing Jira's capabilities for helping people manage work in different departments. And there are templates in here for marketing, finance, HR, sales, and much, much more, which you can see and filter on the left here. There is also an option to set up something called personal projects. So if an individual wanted to manage all of their own work in Jira, there's now an option to make that happen as well. So if we click See Details down here, we can see the details of what this template can be used for and what kinds of teams might actually benefit from using it. So you can see the Jira product that this template is associated with here, and we can see the issue types that are configured with this template as well. So in this case, it's an HR recruitment template that moves candidates through a pre-configured workflow. We don't really have to do anything to set this up, as the workflow comes with this template, and this is one of the first steps that Atlassian has taken with this product to start to translate the Jira environment into a product that's intuitive for business teams. So let's take a look at what a Jira Work Management project that has a really simple workflow. And this is just a quick demo project that shows how you can visualize items or issues in a few different ways. So we'll notice the tabs across the top let us visualize and interact with items of work in this project. In the Summary tab, we've got an overview of all the different issues and the status that they're in. It's particularly helpful to highlight the items that are due very soon here so that team members can be aware of the most time-sensitive work. So if we click on this, Jira will put together a list of those items for us to take a look at. We'll have a look at that view in just a second. If we move over to the board view, this is more of a traditional Kanban view of the work items that are in this project. We can see the different stages that our proposals might be at, but you'll notice they're color-coded right here with gray, blue, or green, just like the to-do, in progress, and done categories that you'd find on Jira software statuses. And that's because each of these subcategories is actually grouped into one of these basic statuses in the back end. So the user won't see that, but it allows us to pull some significant reports. Like if we're looking to see how long between proposals tend to go from a to-do type status through to a done status, we can get a good idea about how long our proposals might take to get reviewed and approved after they've been written, and also how long it might take to actually deliver them once they've been approved. You can also click into these and see more detail about the issue, and you can update statuses by dragging items around just like you'd be able to do with Jira software or JSM issues. So one of the views that will probably resonate a little more closely with most kinds of business teams is JWM's list view. This view itemizes all the outstanding issues on a project in a way that's reminiscent of a spreadsheet, and that's done by design. Atlassian designed this product so that teams who are used to organizing work this way can come in and understand right away what they're looking at and be able to manipulate the tasks in front of them in a way that helps them understand what's most pressing and get their work completed. So this view can be used to sort and update issues as you see fit, as everything in here is inline editable, just like it would be on a spreadsheet. So we'll just take a quick peek at how some of that works here. You can also use filters to view only the information that you want to see and add remove columns from the view as well. And this is the view that we expect most business teams will use when working in their Jira projects. But what if you wanted to display this information so it works better in the context of time and your team's overall workload? Unique to Jira Work Management is the calendar view, which populates the issues in your project based on the start and completion times that you set for each one. Thanks to the color coding in this view, it's easy to see which projects are overdue and by how much. So if there's ever a day where there are too many tasks to properly show up in this view, you can pop open this modal to get a list of everything that's in progress on that date. This could be a good indicator for how much work your team currently has on its plate. So it looks like we've got an overdue task on our calendar here. We can click on it right here in the calendar view to see where it's at. It's actually already been approved for distribution, meaning that we can send this proposal out to a client. So assuming we've gone and done that, we can mark this issue as done so everyone on the team knows the proposal's been delivered and it disappears from the calendar, as that's something that no longer needs attention from the team. Of course, if we wanted to see the issues that have been completed here, we can optionally choose to show those here in the calendar as well, and there they are. One more thing that's pretty useful in the calendar view is the ability to create a new task just by clicking on the date you want it to start. The start date will auto-populate with the date you selected, and you can set other information here as well. This creates an issue or a piece of work in this project just like any other. This can be really handy in this view for setting up projects so they don't overlap with other items that your team might be working on, and it's really easy to see what's happening at a glance on a given day. The next thing I'd like to show off is something what's called the timeline view, which is JWM's last newer work view. This is probably something a lot of people will find familiar. It's just a classic Gantt chart. So here we see all of our outstanding issues and how their start and due dates might overlap with each other. We can manipulate the project's start and end dates just by clicking and dragging them. So it's really helpful for the sake of planning around different projects here as well. You can configure this view to see it by weeks or months or quarters to get a really solid perspective on what's going on right now and what's on the horizon. Because these bars are also color-coded, it's easy to see which issues haven't been started, which ones are in progress, and which ones are already completed here as well. Another really cool thing that's available here is the ability to export this timeline view for inclusion in a report. So for example, if you're leading a team and trying to investigate capacity for more work, it's really helpful to show off what's being worked on, what kinds of bandwidth you have in the next few weeks, months, or quarters. And this comes out as an image file, nothing fancy about it, where you could include it in, say, a Confluence page, a slideshow, or other reporting documentation tools that you might be using. So you can also share this view, inclusive of any filters you might want in place. When a user gets notified, they'll receive a link to this exact view as you've got it in front of yourself. So far we've looked at the list view, the calendar view, and the timeline view in this Jira Work Management project. And these have all been designed in such a way that they should look inherently familiar to most users. So even if you're brand new to Jira, Atlassian's designed the product to work in such a way that anyone can get in, start looking at the work items, and feel relatively familiar with the interface so that they can start to contribute without any real rigorous formalized training on the platform. Of course, now that I've said that, it certainly doesn't hurt to get new Jira Work Management users up to speed on the absolute basics of Jira, and we've put together a very quick free video series to do just that at Avant Academy, which you can find on our website at avant.ca/academy. So I recommend you check that out, especially if you're trying to onboard new users into the Jira ecosystem. The last thing we're going to cover in Jira Work Management is something called forms. If your project takes work requests from other departments, or if you'd like to enable someone outside your team to provide some information for a piece of work, forms are the way that Jira Work Management uses to bridge the gap between typical work management and the requests that many types of teams might need to take, similar to the way a support portal might work in Jira Service Management. So what we can do is create a new form, and then once that loads up, we can drag to add fields of information that we want to include. And once we're happy with that, we can preview the form to see how it looks. From there, we can fill out a request and have it put into our project as a new issue. So you can share this form with a link to anyone who's got a Jira license. So if your entire organization is working in Jira, anyone can make use of this to fill out a request for your team. Just finish this up here. So now that we've done that, we can go back into our board view, or really any of our views that we've seen so far, and see the request from our form has been added as an issue with the to-do status. So we can assign this to someone from here, or you can set up an automation to have new requests get assigned to, for example, a person on the team dedicated to initial triage, or by capacity, or whatever way suits your team best. The automation engine in Jira Work Management is every bit as powerful as that for our other Jira projects, so it's great that other teams can leverage that and keep the work moving at all times. The last thing I'd like to show off in today's demo is more of a fun personal feature that you can use in JWM projects, and that's just to switch the background color for a given project. It's kind of nice for users who are going to be working in Jira a lot to be able to make themselves at home this way a little bit. If you're on say a marketing team and you want to fly the team branding in your projects, this will get you some of the way there. At Avant, we're partial to the pink and teal. It's not exactly dark mode. I hear that's on the horizon at some point and starting to work its way into the Jira ecosystem. So we'll see where things wind up as time goes on that way. So, like we said before, this is a product that aims to take all of the great things about Jira and make them available and more approachable to all different kinds of teams. There are a lot of integrations between Jira Work Management and other Jira products like Jira Software and Jira Service Management, including automation, cross-project automations, workflows, and permission schemes, just as a few examples. So at the end of the day, you can get your entire organization managing the different kinds of work that they do under a single unified platform that's powered by Jira. And this enables them to collaborate, manage work, and make it visible across teams. So, how can you get started with Jira Work Management? The good news here is if you're already using Jira Software Cloud in the workplace, Jira Software users get all the functionality and project templates that we've shown off today included for free. So existing Jira admins can spin up Jira Work Management projects and start getting teams set up to manage the different kinds of work that we've demonstrated. If you've got teams who aren't working in Jira now, you can add those users to your Jira Cloud license. Your cloud site administrator can set up your instance to take those users on. And if you don't have Jira software on board right now, you can purchase Jira Work Management as a standalone product as well. Of course, if you'd like any assistance doing any of that, by all means, reach out to us. We love to help put Jira Work Management in place for you. Using the stock templates is a really good way to get started with the product on your own, but Jira in all its forms is very configurable as well. So if you're looking to alter workflows to better suit the way your team works or set up automations for higher velocity, this is what we do at Avant all day long. We'd love to hear about how you're using the product and how we can help make it suit your teams better. So that concludes our short and sweet demo for today. I'll jump into the Q&A here in case anyone has questions. Feel free to post them in the Q&A and I'll do my best to answer them. We do have a couple of questions that are floating at the moment already. First one is, does this work for data center as well? The answer to that is actually no. Jira Work Management is a cloud-only product. It was developed quite a bit more recently from how Jira Software and JSM have come up. And Atlassian doesn't have any plans on the roadmap to building this out for data center, and that's just kind of not surprising. It's in line with Atlassian's Cloud First initiative, so that's where they're putting a lot of infrastructure and effort on their products. I got another question here. Why would you want this if you already have Trello? Oh, that's a great question. We get this one quite a bit, actually. The main difference between JWM and Trello is that Jira Work Management is more tightly integrated with other Jira products to track and manage work across different teams. So if you're looking to break down silos between departments for greater overall efficiency, having all of your teams manage their work in JWM is a better application for that, especially if you've already got Jira Software or Jira Service Management working in your organization. So for example, if you map out all the things that needed to be taken care of for like an HR onboarding process where other teams like IT and operations would need to be involved for setting up workspaces and computers and equipment, you can set up a workflow and automations that will support that, assign tickets, and report back on, when each of those tasks is completed. And you get visibility if you need, to see if there are any hangups in those processes. By comparison, Trello is a more simplified top-down kind of application that's meant to work better as a better alternative than spreadsheets or other similar tools. It's basically a digital representation of sticky notes on a board or a to-do list of sorts, but it doesn't contain any of the real process and dependency mapping intelligence that you'll get from JWM. Another couple of questions here. Wondering how if it's simple to later convert JWM to JS if it's decided later that they need to adjust it. So I'm guessing that's referring to Jira Work Management projects versus Jira Software projects. I won't pretend to really know if there's a way to convert one project type to the next with any real efficiency. I would say that if you have Jira Software on board, it's probably, if you have a need for development work, Jira Software is going to be the product for that, and you should definitely have that in place. Jira Work Management is really meant for the other stuff that goes on in a business. So I think that's probably, the way to handle it. The good news is, kind of like I said before, if you have Jira Software, you also have Jira Work Management templates to work from. isn't JWM only free up to 10 users? Is the next question that I've got. And off the top of my head, I think it is free up to 10 users. But if you have Jira software already, you will get the templates bundled in from JWM. So active Jira software users can spin up those kinds of projects. Now, if you wanted the teams that would be using them, like HR teams or marketing teams, and then you would have to get them Jira licenses as well. So that's hopefully answers that question. A couple more here. Does implementing Jira Work Management alter the existing workflow? Jira Work Management is going to be kind of enabled by default. So the short answer is no. Jira Work Management projects are semi-independent from Jira software projects. They have different pre-built workflows. You can configure things to do essentially whatever you need them to do, depending on what kind of team you're talking about. So a JWM project is not going to directly affect the workflow of a Jira software project, unless there is, something in place that makes that happen, like automations or something to that effect. Another question here. Can we integrate JWM with Jira DC? I kind of answered this one already. The answer is sadly no. Jira Work Management is a cloud-only product. So that's the unfortunate answer. If you really are looking for Jira Work Management and really need that kind of functionality, it's probably best to consider a cloud migration, which we can help with as well. Does the form capacity for work for multiple items, i.e., can we create different forms for different issue types within the same work management project? I believe the answer to that is yes, but I'm going to say don't quote me on it. Depending on, the way the form is set up, you can set up different kinds of requests, right? And it'll kind of work in the same vein as Jira Service Management requests. Depending on what gets put in them might determine what type of request actually shows up to the back end. So that's my not terribly informed answer on that. Can you expand more on the forms? Does it have all the capabilities of JSM? If not, what is it lacking? And yeah, I think it's the short version on that is that forms for JWM projects are not as robust as they would be for a Jira Service Management project. And I guess what I mean by that is that you're a little bit limited to some of the ways that those projects are configured and some of the kinds of information that those projects, like JWM projects, would be, what kinds of things that they would take. So yeah, it's a little bit more robust if you were looking for a JSM project that had a lot of really high configuration and different things. And the other thing about it too is I don't believe that JWM forms have any capability to pull things like knowledge base articles. So there's that component as well. I think that's about all of our questions for today, unless anybody's got more. Okay, I think we will leave it there. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending. I hope you found today's session informative. Of course, if you're looking for assistance or if you have any other questions down the road, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to talk out, what you're trying to do with Jira and Jira Work Management or any of the other Jira products for that matter. Reach out to us at our website. We'd love to have a conversation to see how we can help. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.